Political analyst Brian Sobel joins us live now on the phone to break down the debate. Brian, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Kiba. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. Hey, Brian, before we get to the specific candidates, Kiba and I kind of disagree on something. I want to get your take about this because I thought the smaller stage, having just 8 candidates up there, kind of was refreshing and added to the responses. What were your thoughts about the format and the 8 candidates on stage?
Well, 8 candidates made it a lot easier to pick out who was responding well to the questions, that sort of thing. And 8 is a better number. Frankly, 4 or 3 would be a much better number. But in total last evening, the substance of the debate was much greater than any of the previous debates. Lots of good content.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Yeah, I guess I'm just waiting for it to be 4 or 5 maximum. Let's talk about Ben Carson, Brian. So did he get a pass, per se, on his discrepancy from his childhood, or was this not the time or place to discuss it? Before you answer, let's listen to Ben Carson from last night.
Okay.
Somebody misinterpreting when I said that I was offered a scholarship to West Point. That's the words that they used. But I've had many people come and say the same thing to me. That's what people do in those situations. We have to start treating people the same and finding out what people really think and what they're made of. And people who know me know that I'm an honest person.
Well, Brian, and that was pretty much it. No one else talked about it. So you got West Point and also his childhood violence. What did you think about that?
Well, I think he did get a pass, but I think it was also the format of the debate and the reluctance of other folks on the stage to talk about that. Anytime I think that you have that many candidates and not a whole lot of time, I think they all frankly colluded in saying we're not going to go down this road. We'll let somebody else ask that question later. And frankly, Neil Cavuto from the Fox channel the business channel asked the question, but then there was no follow-up. So in a sense, you're right, Kiba. Carson did get a pass, but it's not the end of the story.
And some say Marco Rubio had a very solid performance. You know, I kind of think that some of the biggest policy clashes really of the night were between Marco Rubio and Rand Paul. Brian, between these two.
Well, Mike, yeah, I would say that was the exchange of the night. And if you broke it down, lots of substance, lots of contrast there. It was really a very good exchange from the standpoint of the viewer being able to hear how each of these candidates view things in the world.
So it was positive for both candidates then?
I believe so. I think if you're a follower of Marco Rubio, he hit a ball out of the park because he talked about at length his feelings on this thing, and if you're a Rand Paul fan, same thing. So, but one of those things that was just a really meaty exchange, and that's what we've been looking for since the beginning of these debates.
Well, Brian, let's go to immigration now. Clear split between all these Republicans. You have Cruz on one side, then you kind of have Bush and Kasich on the other side, and then you have Donald Trump and what he wants to do when it comes to immigration.
The wall will be successful, and if you think walls don't work, all you have to do is ask Israel. The wall works, believe me, properly done, believe me.
Can you just send 5 million people back with no effect on the economy?
You're going to have to bring people, you're going to have to send people out. Look,
so
we're
what
a country,
will you do?
Maria, we're a country of laws. We either have a country or we don't have a country. We are a country of laws. Going to have to go out, and they'll come back, but they're going to have to go out, and hopefully they get back. We have no choice.
Brian, what say you about that?
Well, I think Kasich, in his follow-up commentary, I think the word he used was silly. That may not be the right word, but it was the expressed emotion that somehow you were going to find a way to exit 11 million people and then somehow bring them back in. It's just not a realistic thing. And once again, Trump is pandering to a certain percentage of people that are angry about immigration, but it's not a plan.
Final thought, do you think Trump took a hit last night?
Well, you know, my final thought is that if we look at the end of October, just a couple of weeks ago, and then went back in time, in the same time span in 2004, Howard Dean was up 1 point. In 2008, Hillary Clinton was up 26 points. Rudy Giuliani, 10 points, that was in 2008 for Clinton. And in 2012, Herman Cain up a point. I guess my point is everything's going to change as we keep marching along to the caucuses and primaries in February.
If you had to call it right now, Brian, who do you think? Marco Rubio, maybe?
Keep it, you always make it tough on me, but yes, I would say that if you had to look at the mix right now, Rubio is starting to make the move. His content is good.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
I think it's true. And he just has, as I say, he's got a lot to say. He's delivering it very well, eloquently, and I think he's starting to make a move from the pack.
All right, Brian Sobel joining us on the phone there with his analyst. Brian, thank you.
You're welcome, Mike. Take care.
All right.
You too.